Hey folks, Coach Josh Wood here for another Star Client interview where I chat to one of our awesome clients who has a very unique perspective and unique journey that they've traveled and are traveling. Today we have Tommy. And Tommy, tell us a little about yourself.
About me, I guess I'll keep it pertinent with my lifting journey. I've been lifting and training martial arts and lifting weights for 10 to 15 years. Very interested in things like powerlifting, getting stronger. But at the minute, I've been on a bodybuilding journey with Coach Josh here for the past, it's got to be more than 12 months now, 14 months or something.
Yeah, something about that. Just over a year.
Something like that. Yeah. In that time, I've gained, what is it? It's like 12, nearly 12 kilos, 13 kilos, something like that.
Yeah, on a good day, close to 15, but averaging, I think, about 12, 13.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Which goes to show, consistency and training with Coach Josh works. That's kind of where I'm at in my training in a minute.
So your background, you work a very physical job occasionally.
Yeah. I dig a lot of trenches. Yeah, I'm on the shuttle often. Sure.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of physical work outside the gym, which we do have to take into account for things. So tell us a little bit about, so you said, okay, so those that don't know, Tommy and I used to train MMA together way back in the day, long ago, so long ago. So I can vouch to the fact that he's been, in the game for a while now. But when we first started, you had a number of things going on with your training, a number of injuries and things like that. So tell us a bit about what life and training was like prior to starting with us at Strong for Life Online Coaching.
Yeah, sure. I'd become jaded. I've been training and programming for myself long enough and injuring myself for long enough that I ended up with my tendons, my joints, my ligaments, all of that connective tissue was always inflamed. It didn't seem to matter how hard I trained or didn't train. And so part of that was definitely exercise selection, but it was an ongoing problem. I was almost ready to give up lifting and just become a yogi for life or something like that to avoid the issues I was facing. And having met Josh, I've been able to successfully navigate my way out of that painful arthritic hole, which has been incredible. For reference as well, I've also got 2 torn labrums in my shoulders. I've got a slap and a Bankart lesion in this one, and just a slap tear in that one, which is always fun. So working around that's always been a pain, but Josh has effortlessly somehow managed to program and find ways that I could still do overhead work. I could still use my shoulders and make progress at the same time. Just been really, really refreshing, to say the least.
Nice. And so what would you say the big difference is between where you were before, 12, 14 months ago, to where you're at now with your training in terms of quality, in terms of dealing with your niggles? Because you had back pain for ages too.
Yeah.
And that's still something we have to navigate.
It is. And I tweaked it during the course of training again, of course, and we've managed that, which is cool. But could you rephrase that question for me?
Yeah. So previously you said you were getting jaded. You said you were about ready to become a lifelong yogi. That was before we intervened to try and figure out if we could get you as massive and jacked as possible. What would you say the big difference is now to then for you? Just
big
how you're feeling, how you're training.
Absolutely, it's pain, and because of my level of pain has gone down, my level of motivation has obviously gone up. My consistency of training and the amount of fear I would experience in going to the gym is way less relative to what it was. I mean, I was terrified every time. Like I knew I had to exercise, otherwise I go crazy. It's just the nature of who I am. And going into gym, it's kind of it was my church. It was my place of rest and meditation and recovery and mastery. And I started to become fearful of that because of the amount of pain I was experiencing as a result of yeah, abusing my body in the wrong ways for too long, I would say. That's
Yeah, man,
no
that's I.
longer the case.
For those that don't know, like I had chronic back pain for about 7 years from powerlifting as well.
Yeah.
And it was the point, it just like randomly would flare up. You know, I'd have to like plank roll to roll over in bed. And this went on and off, like was on and off for about 7 years. You know, I haven't had issues with that in probably the last 3 years. Just a lot of these things that you figure out, trying to find new ways of navigating this and learning more about the problem is something that's in your case in particular, I've been able to apply a lot of what I learned through my journey to yours, because I'm like, shit, yeah, like we can manage this. Like I know it can be managed. So that's awesome, because that fear of the gym is just for guys like us who need to move and need to train and strain and put effort out there. It's not a good thing if you're afraid of doing what you need to do.
No.
Yeah. So let's
No,
shift
exactly
gears
right.
here. Obviously, the pain is something that's been a part of this journey, and it's still something that, you know, if you have injuries, you have to navigate. But let's talk about food and weight gain. So what was the big goal? I mean, yeah, pain, sure, whatever. But what was the big goal coming into this?
Big goal getting to 90 kilos body weight, ideally lean, but I haven't quite done that just yet, but I am much closer than I was. I was aiming for 20 kilos of lean mass in like 12 to 18 months, which without maybe some of the Mexican supplements is a pretty big goal, I would say. Yeah, and look, I'm still going to continue on that path to hit that 90 kilos, of course. But eating has been more of a challenge, I would say, than rehabbing my body. Consistent eating I'm up to 4,100 calories now every day. If you don't get it right, it's work and it hurts. You're late at night crying into bowls of cereal, that kind of thing.
Proper bodybuilder life. And you know, that took us a while to figure out too. Like it's like, why aren't you gaining? We're adding calories. And normally it's the other way around. You know, normally I'm working with people who are trying to desperately lose weight, and it's like, you know, they typically overestimate how much they're eating. Underestimate how much they're eating. And we have to sort of recalculate that. And then working with a weight gain client like yourself, it's kind of the opposite thing. We have to be really accurate and underestimate so that we can hopefully sneak in as many calories as possible. But I mean, it took us a while to figure out that for you to gain weight, you have to be close to 4,000 calories.
Basically, yeah. Depending on the days, I'm estimating this previous week digging more trenches. I'd be close to that 4,500 mark.
Yeah, and that's keeping you around 85 kilos.
Yeah, it is. It's food selection is the foods I've been eating to maintain this weight or gain this weight. My mum would shake her head at for sure. But you've got to do what you've got to do. Lots of KFC, lots of ice cream, lots of oatmeal, lots and lots of rice, that kind of thing every day. Yeah.
And a big secret to this for any of the hard gainers out there is you have to eat food that you enjoy enough to keep eating all the time and is calorie dense enough. And like I'm another hard gainer. You know, I don't gain weight easy, and I went through a big weight gain phase. Put on about 12 kilos myself a couple of years back, maybe 3 years ago now, and settled down since then. But when I was on that too, it was the same thing. It's like, well, what is the most calorie dense stuff I can eat that won't make me sick, that allow me to get it in? And you know, a lot of times just drinking calories, things like juice. You know, a lot of guys that get onto like dates and tahini, super calorie dense, delicious. But yeah, like this is where you get to embrace the junk food that we try to stay away from, because it's like it's so easy to overeat that, which is a problem unless you're trying to get big. So it's a process, a learning experience.
It's a blessing.
It is, and you have to go, okay, well, I know this isn't necessarily good for me, but this is a means to an end to get the calories in, and it's work.
Yeah, it is work, and it comes at a cost. I mean, monetarily, you're eating two people's worth of food. So that's a whole thing. But physically, it's like eating junk and trying to gain weight. It takes a different kind of toll on your body. Dealing with bloat and managing your food selection so you don't have to deal with that kind of thing. You've got to be, it's a thing to navigate anyway. It really is. Really is.
It
I
definitely
never thought
is.
it would
And
be
for
like
those,
this.
yeah, that's right. That's right. For all the other skinny guys out there, like it's an effort. You don't just magically gain weight if your natural inclination is to not eat so much. You have to sort of rig the system in your favor. Yeah. So, hopefully there's some hard gainers out there that listen to this and go, oh, okay, yeah, it does take some work to get there. It's not just the lifting, it's you have to eat religiously.
I can attest to that. Now, just to reinforce that point for those hard gainers that were skinny boys like myself, you can train as hard as you want and you can hit some impressive numbers, build all the technique and the right cues and bleed yourself dry. But if you're not eating a ridiculous amount of food to go with your ridiculous training, you're not going to see the results. And ultimately, that's where I was for a long, long time, beating my head against the wall. And then you train so hard for so long, you make yourself injured, you never recover. You got to eat. And you really got to eat more than you think you do at all times.
So much more. Yeah.
Don't skip meals. You'll pay for it later. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll find yourself at 9 o'clock at night sitting there with a bowl of cereal and protein shake mixed in and a cup of nuts, and you're just trying to shovel it all in.
Bottle of cream and peanut butter, and it's not pretty.
No, it's an effort. So let's shift here. So what has been your favorite part of the process? Obviously, we've had some challenges we've had to work through, and I know eating is not actually as fun as people think it is. But what's been your favorite part of the process?
Favorite part of my process, for sure, seeing the outcome is great. I mean, the progress itself. I'm back up into my powerlifting days, weights, but more comfortably. I'm way up in weight in general. My old injuries aren't hurting. So that's bloody fantastic. But having worked with you as well, it's been really nice that you kind of just, you do the thing. You give me the script I've got to follow and I can run with it. I haven't had really any hitches along the way, maybe one or two exercises here and there that make me flare up. But by and large, my body's responded really well, which has been fantastic. So thank you for your programming. It's been beautiful.
Good. That's good to hear. I try my best.
Yeah.
So, okay, there's lots of guys like us out there, injuries from whatever sport, skinny guys trying to gain weight. What if you've met someone who was in the same situation as you before you started, with this year of experience under your belt now, what would you tell them? How would you tell them to get to where they want to be? Like if they're looking for someone, I'm not saying you have to pump my brand, but like, what is it that you want to tell them so that they can start solving these problems?
Yeah. There's only so long that you can continue to do the same thing and deal with the injuries or the pain or beating your head against the wall, the stagnation, whatever it is. If you were going to figure it out yourself, you might have already figured it out yourself. Ask for help. Go and get help, and you don't have to spend 24 or 36 months in the same place dealing with back pain or shoulder pain or whatever it is. You can get off that boat much sooner than you might think. Just reach out to people like Josh or someone you trust, a personal trainer, whatever it is. YouTube's great, but that'll only get you so far.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And what I always tell people is like, if you know someone who's been through a similar situation and they've solved it, talk to them first. See what they did. See what worked for them instead of just going. And I see this all the time where they're like, oh, I don't want to listen to my friend, my family, whatever. I've seen 1,000,001 opinions on the internet. I'll just keep listening to those, but then just end up walking around in circles because they never actually buckle down and just try and apply some solution for an extended period of time.
For an extended period of time. That's right. Yeah, the results. Yeah, I mean, you work yourself into a hole for so long, it's going to take you likely as long as it took you to get there to get out. Yeah. but having systems can speed that process up dramatically, keep you working in the right direction.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I
All
find.
right. Last question for you.
Shoot.
What words of wisdom do you have to share from this journey? To anything about, to anyone about anything, whatever pops into your head. Share some wisdom.
Yeah. Words of wisdom. Okay. I'm gonna harp on this because I was injured and miserable for so long. And that's, can I swear here?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay. So if you fucked yourself up, so if you could have unfucked yourself, you would have. So reach out and get some help if you need it.
That's it. I mean, that's what I'm telling people all the time. It's like I talk to people in the opposite boat and they haven't been able to lose 20 kilos in 20, 30 years. And they're just like, no, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. It's like, if you
and then cut to 6 months later and everything's different. You've made progress or whatever it is that you haven't seen in 3, 5, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, that's absolutely like top tier wisdom. If you haven't figured it out for X amount of time, you need to get some help.
Yeah. I think we have a responsibility to ourselves and to the people around us to try at least and be healthy.
Yep, I agree. Yeah. All right, Tommy, I don't want to take up too much more of your very busy day. So thank you very much for taking the time. Thank you very much for all your hard work so far. And of course, thank you for sharing your words of wisdom.
Thank you for supporting me on this journey. It's been great.
Happy to.